Welcome to the Success Series podcast, brought to you by the Presto Post. This show is all about the secrets, recipes, and philosophies of some of the world's most famous people, be them composers, actors, actresses, entrepreneurs, authors, painters, investors, philosophers, journalists, scientists, you name it. Each episode features one person, and typically 7 to 10 separate pieces of advice. These podcasts are not done by us, however. What we do instead is comb the internet platforms for any recordings and audio clips that already exist, study them, and then separate the wheat from the chaff. These podcasts are the wheat, or as we like to call them, nutritious audio snacks. The golden number is 7. This is the number of lessons we try to fit into each podcast, but inevitably we struggle to keep within that number. Sometimes there is just too much to cram into 7, that we have no choice but to include 10 or more. Besides, are not rules made to be broken? And seeing as we created that rule in the first place, well... Anyway, onto the show. Today's episode is all about Childish Gambino. Don't know who he is? How about mcDJ? No? How about Troy Barnes from the sitcom Community? Of course, it is the one and only Donald Glover. Donald is an actor, singer-songwriter, comedian, DJ, writer, director and producer. Over the last few years, Glover's career has skyrocketed. Last year he was named in the top 20 of Business Insider's A-list, which is an annual list of the most powerful stars in Hollywood. For his music, he was nominated for 2 Grammys in 2015. This year, however, 2017 for those living in the future, he has more than double that, with 5 Grammy nominations. For his career on the screen, his tally is equally impressive, with Emmy Awards for Outstanding Lead Actor and Outstanding Directing in a Comedy Series, and Golden Globe Awards for Best TV Series and Best Actor. He has starred in a few well-known films, Magic Mike, The Martian, and this year's new Spiderman movie. And he will be the voice of Simba in Disney's remake of The Lion King, set to be released in 2019. At 34 years old, Glover's career is yet to reach its peak. There's plenty more to come from him, both in music and on the screen. So, without further ado, here are 7 lessons from Donald Glover. Number 1. Life is hard. Following your dreams is hard. You gotta eat, huh? You can't just drop everything in pursuit of your aspirations, however big they are. Or can you? Should you? It is hard. But it is that way for a reason. If you really want to do something, as cliche as it sounds, you've really got to be serious. Maybe you do have to quit that 9 to 5, after all.
Like everybody, we all, how old are you?
28.
Yeah, we were all like around that age where it was like jobs weren't there after they came out, and then people were just kind of like, oh, that's what I feel like I'm being lied to, because it's just like everybody kind of became a freelance photographer, everybody became a freelance and then you realize like, oh man, no one's really happy. like no one's really happy because we're not attaining those goals that everybody told. We're supposed to have kids and do like all these things that we're supposed to, and no one's really happy because like they realize like all those things are kind of not what make you happy. That's what our parents did to like have purpose. They were like, yeah, and now we have all that stuff, and like the thing we're supposed to do is really be helping each other, but we've been brought up in this kind of like, well, I'm supposed to be like the top ranking manager at this thing by this point and have that, and it's not real. It's just not real. It's not necessary. Everybody should be just following their passion, because they're gonna be good at that at most, but like people are too worried about their jobs, because people gotta eat. It's sad, but it's just like, it's true. Like, people gotta eat, and I feel bad. Like, I don't want to be the guy on camera being like, you should be following your dreams, and then people are like, I have 5 kids, I can't do that. But I think it's true. Like, people are scared and vulnerable. Because it's dangerous to do that. But I don't think we're gonna grow if we don't.
2. Don't play games with yourself. Define what success means to you as early on as you can, and do it truthfully. That is, define your version of success, not anybody else's. You have to be true to you. Once you know specifically what success is to you, you know what you're going after.
Define success for yourself early. And it can change, it's okay. But just like know that like success is something that you define for yourself, and it can't really be defined by anybody else for you, because everybody else kind of full of shit. And you really have to believe in yourself. And not in a like believe in yourself way, but like in a like know what you're getting out of it. Like you can't change a lot of things around you, and like a lot of people are gonna tell you a lot of things. You have to have faith in yourself and have like good friends around you. So I would just say like be good to yourself. Like believe in yourself. Do what you want, and be like cool with it. Be okay like with that. Like yourself. like you should be like nobody should ever like you should never put out something and be like this isn't a good whatever. I think it's whack like that. Like Macklemore's like, oh, this album shouldn't have won. Like Kendrick, you should have won. I'm like, that's whack. Like if you believe in that album, you should be like, I thought my album was better. Cause like that's the thing. I think my album's like the best. I love my album. I think it's dope. Like if I was a kid, I'd be like, this album's the truth. Like why not like your own stuff? So yeah, like your stuff.
3. Don't make the next app. Open the next coffee shop. Create the next clothesline, Angry Birds, or superfood bar. Do something different instead. Unique, against the grain. Do something that nobody else is doing. Stand out.
I've said this before, like I listened to Kanye interviews and he's like, I can't go any farther, like glass, and like I used to want to be like, I need to be a rapper, like I'm trying to be like a rapper and just do all this stuff, and I was like, oh man, and I realized like, that's my superpower. I'm not a rapper. I'm definitely not a rapper. I don't want to be a rapper. Rappers can only get this far. Like they can only go so far, and I want, like, this is a gift. Like I get to make this show, like it's something that nobody else gets to make it, and make it weird and personal, and something that I think they wouldn't let. Probably they wouldn't let Schoolboy Q do it, even though he's probably got crazy dope ideas, but like I think this is my like superpower. I want to like like I want to do something dope. I guess the worst thing that could happen to me right now would be if I just couldn't make things anymore, like if there wasn't an outlet. And be honest, like I think the one thing I'm thankful for is that like I can still like change stuff. Like it's like I can still do things differently. Like I meant that when I wrote that on Instagram. I was like, hey, you can always be better. Like I seriously meant that. So I guess I'm very thankful that like things aren't always over until they're over.
First and foremost, you must create for yourself. If you're going to walk the creative path, if you're going to make art, then you must be in it for your own soul. Create art that speaks to you, and then show it to the world. If you do the opposite, if you make firstly for other people, then you move your focus away from what is important, i.e. the value, to things less important, like monetization. Don't do that.
I think like, anybody who has control over their art should just be doing it. Like I made a short film and that was just art.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make that. Anybody who's trying to tell you like you need to gain like monetary value like right now from your art is somebody who is eating off of you. Like immediately, like that's the truth. There's somebody who's eating off of you. But the thing is like you're eating off of you because I only see like what I want to make. That's all I see. Like when people ask like, are you want to do this? Do you want to do that? Or like, I'm like, I only see the thing I'm supposed to make. I'm not concerned on whether or not what's it called, or like, is this called painting or music or whatever. This is the thing I'm supposed to make. And I go to it. So worrying about monetary value or like, are people going to pay for this is only going to like ruin this. It's only going to make this less of what I want it to be. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to like make albums or like toys or things. I want to make concepts that people are like, wow, like this really changed. I have dreams where like things are still like upside down when I turn them and stuff like that, and I'm still trying to figure out how to do that in real life and stuff. Yeah, I don't see the point in like cutting yourself short.
Number 5. A human being should be able to change a diaper, plan an invasion, butcher a hog, con a ship, design a building, write a sonnet, balance accounts, build a wall, set a bone, comfort the dying, take orders, give orders, cooperate, act alone, solve equations, analyse a new problem, pitch manure, program a computer, cook a tasty meal, fight efficiently, die gallantly. Specialisation is for insects. So said the great Robert Heinlein. The jack of all trades is a dying occupation. We are in an age of specialisation. Whilst this is both unavoidable and necessary, for we'd have no industrial revolution or digital revolution without it, it does fail to speak to the deep-rooted natural curiosity all human beings have in their bones. The child is interested in almost everything. The adult, only a few things. With age, the path tends to get narrower and narrower. If the path didn't get narrower, however, nothing would ever get done. Human beings would be directionless. Perhaps we'd still be in the Stone Age. Or perhaps we wouldn't have even got to the Stone Age. Yes, the gradual process of specialisation is fundamental to how we find meaning, purpose, happiness and fulfilment in life. It is also how we build skills, learn and make art. But too much specialisation is limiting because it suppresses the creative, curious and playful side of the human mind. What's more, the world needs leaders, and leaders tend not to be specialists. Most leaders are the opposite, generalists. Being an actor, voiceover artist, singer-songwriter, rapper, comedian, DJ, writer, director and producer, it's safe to say that Donald Glover isn't a fan of niche.
Yeah, I'm so tired of niche. Like, niche is something that, like, I'm glad to see go away from this past decade.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense, I guess, like, it makes sense, like, after the internet, like, that model makes sense for a lot of things, I guess, like, making it niche, but, like, I think we just needs to be smarter. Like, making a product for only a select few, you can definitely sustain that product, but I feel like the risk that you take of, like, maybe it's good for everybody is worth it. Because, you know, I only want to make things that are going to reach as many people as possible. I don't believe in niche. Like, I think that is a really lame way. That comes from wanting more money.
Yeah.
You know, like, or just, like, being able, not even more money, but stable money. Because, you know, you can, and I'm just like, I'm not interested in making things safe. I just don't want to be okay with where I'm at. Like, I never want to settle. I never want to be, like, just happy with where I'm at. Like, I always want to be going for better. So, like, that's all I'm at.
Yeah.
I just want to always get better at stuff.
6. Don't play the victim. Stop complaining and go out there and make things happen. The world is a place of competition. As much as you may not want to hear it, the world is in many ways a dog-eat-dog world. Well, not quite that extreme, but it is not a nice place. There are people out there who want to see you fail, ridiculed, ignored, or just want to be better than you. Just as it is mightily difficult to become really good at something, to find meaning, to get rich, to become the president. Yes, life is hard, especially if you want better than average. And until you come to terms with the fact, you're no better off than a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest.
You're not against bullying?
I'm not.
What do you mean?
I'm not against, like, bullying, because I feel like the world is bullies. Like, there's so many people who are going to tell you that what your idea is stupid, or, like, you don't belong here, or you don't deserve certain things. And,
But
like,
wouldn't it be a better
it'd be a better place if people didn't do that?
But you're saying you're not against it because it's unrealistic to be against it?
I'm saying, like, we probably wouldn't have Kanye West, Bill Gates, or anyone without someone being like, you're not worth it. Like, we wouldn't have them. And, like, we wouldn't have people who were like, no, this is worth it. Because if everybody's ideas was worth it, and if they felt that way, everybody felt like their idea, it'd be just like nothing. Everything would be the same. You need somebody to keep being like, no, I'm right. You need a Joan of Arc who's like, no, I'm right. Even if it's crazy. But, like, and then eventually people are like, maybe they're not
Are
crazy.
you that way?
I mean, yeah. I like to believe that. I mean, people tell me...
Because you seem like such a little modest guy and when you're on the show.
I'm a salty dude, though.
Are you?
Oh yeah, I remember everybody who says stuff. Like, I mean, like, I got beefs with people. Like, I remember stuff. I remember totally. Like, and I'm like, most of the things I do is just like, nah, I'm right. Like, and I believe in myself.
You're
more
vengeful?
Not vengeful. I'm salty. I'm
What's
like,
the difference?
the difference would be like, vengeful is like, I'm gonna come and destroy you. I think like it's like I'm gonna wait.
I'm going
around,
to take. I'm taking your number down, and
and I'm coming for you.
coming for you.
I'm salty, which means I think salty is a different thing because I'm like, I'm just gonna prove you wrong. I'd much rather you sit there and be like, huh, I was wrong. Because then I think that's growing. Like, there's lots of times where I've done stuff and I'm like, I was wrong about that, and I didn't even know. And then it makes you like look at things differently on experiences in your life. Like, I want to make people think like you were wrong.
And finally, number 7. Magic is real, and it can be found in the souls of other people, in story, in art, in generosity, in collaboration.
I grew up in a house where magic wasn't allowed, so everybody in here is like magical to me. Like every time I saw a movie or Disney movies or heard your voices or saw you, I was like, oh, magic is from people. Like we're the ones who kind of, in a weird way, tell a story or a lie to children, so they do stuff that we never thought was possible. My dad used to tell me every day, like, you can do anything you want. And I remember thinking, like, as a kid in first grade, like, you're lying to me. But now I do stuff, and he's like, I didn't think that was possible. So I really want to say thank you to my son and the mother of my son for making me believe in people again and things being possible. So thank you.
If you like this podcast and would like to see more of them, there are many ways you can support it. You can leave a review on iTunes, on our website, or anywhere else the podcast appears. You can share it with friends on social media or on your own blog or podcast. You can talk about it over breakfast pancakes, paleo pancakes, of course. You can purchase any books we recommend on the site using the hyperlinks, which will take you straight to Amazon. Or you can support us directly with a donation. You can do that at pressthepost.org/support. As always, thank you for listening.